Warning, this podcast contains bad words and stories about drugs and sex and overthrowing the government. Proceed with caution. Thank you. And now on to our show. Wake up, brother, we got nothing to do. Let's go outside, just me and you, and build a fort. We'll pack a lunch, won't be home till after dark. Then after dinner we can sneak back out. You know that high school girl I've been telling you about? Well, she gets undressed about 8:45, and we can watch her do it from the big old pine next door. She got a room on the second floor. Well, looks like another fucked up day in paradise. Well, here we go. This is Daughter of Godcast, episode 151, The Lush. Why is it called The Lush? Well, if you're seeing me right now and you are able to perceive color, then you will know the answer to that question. I am sitting, for the rest of you, in a little patch of the lush, of flora that's been just doused with so much rain. And now it's getting sun, so it's so full of life. Yes, I'm feeling like the guys, Charlton Heston and those other dudes in Planet of the Apes, when they were naked running through the jungle. Yeah. Trying to find their clothes. Sexy, yeah. That's me, that's how I feel right now, yeah. I'm just kind of recreating that for you. Hey, we're recording. Episode 151. Episode 151 of the Daughter of Godcast. It's Dan Kelly. We're on the open road coming back from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, where the Chinese bone setter option proved to be not possible. Access point. Let's find an access point to this episode. So, trying to suss out what the cosmos is up to by treating circumstance or conditions as clues, ? I was attempting to explain the futility of this to my new best friend, Crystal. As I deepen my practice of autonomy, taking responsibility for thoughts and feelings, cool shit transpires. I've indulged in playing the game of why something happened, looking back at the path of least resistance. X event occurred so I could meet you, or so I could learn, etc. These retrospectives can be delightful and inspiring, but for me, looking at the past implies looking into the future. Based on current conditions, I was trying to extrapolate what's going to happen next, which isn't all that effective or even fun, it turns out. So we're going back home. Master Wu couldn't help me. I waited too long to go see him, and so it looks like my remaining options are miracle from the cosmos, waiting to heal naturally, or going in for surgery, getting a plate to put my clavicle back together. This is what I've been doing the past, I don't know, maybe a couple months. So kind of a recent thing. So trying to see the optimal route through the canyons, over the mountains, across the seas by looking at one step on the trail, analyzing the thrust of a craggy overhang, or watching the ripples that the hulls make behind the sailboat. What can the past say about the future? What can a specific curve in the road reveal about the entire journey? This kind of gooey, gluey reality that I'm in, and in that gooey, gluey reality, surgery still seems like the way forward. Though I do not discount the possibility there could be a miracle and I could be completely healed tomorrow. Maybe right now, bong, healed. With science, we've created a predictive system of fantastic efficacy. We have changed the world through our ability to predict. There are repeating patterns. By seeing the first ripple in the water, we can guess where and how fast that ripple will spread. We recognize patterns, repetition. We remember the repetition and look into the future. Is there a meta pattern, an oscillation of the entire universe? Sure, why not? When we grok the ultimate oscillation, we are omniscient. What state of consciousness, what mode of consciousness would allow me to heal right now? What mode of consciousness would allow me to heal quickly without any surgery? What mode of consciousness would put my bones back together? Is it just consciousness, or is there really this thing called physical laws that have to be obeyed? And not obeyed, but are inevitable, are incontrovertible, are just the way things are, and no matter what you think or feel, they're just going to be the same. You drop a ball up the Empire State Building, a cue ball, and it's going to fall. No matter what you think about it, no matter how you feel about it, right? Isn't that the way it is? In reality. There are patterns within patterns, even chaos and patterns layered, duality, cheek by jowl. Is this universe holographic? Does every fragment we chip off contain the whole? Does the curve of my fingernail reveal mysteries hiding in the Oort cloud? What about temporality? Can we know anything about the hour by analyzing the second? Yeah, looks like I've got to have surgery after all, which is another experience to have. Yay, more experiences. I've never had surgery. So I've never broken a bone, never had surgery, so I guess I get to have surgery. I'm scheduled to go in on the 29th. I made all these arrangements yesterday as I was coming out of Philadelphia, PA. Uh-oh, what's happening down there? Why can't I see level? Oh, there are the levels. Hello. Yeah, we're good. We're fine. Yeah, so you might notice that I'm driving with one arm, because my other arm is still kind of messed up. I'm starting to be able to hold things now and turn lids and manipulate things to some extent, but there's definitely not so much range of movement. I'd say probably 30%, 45% range of motion in my wrist. Yeah, and I don't really want to pick up anything because my collarbone is all broken, separated, floating around in there. So God knows what would happen if I actually need to count on my shoulder for anything. So I'm not going to. No. So my question today is, should I indulge my curiosity about comings into beings? Do I need to know which turning the path of least resistance will take next? Or should I just take the turning when I get there? Here's the thing. Let's just be right out there. So, point of attraction, what we bring into our lives. Now, you can say, oh my God, this guy is wacko, that he believes these things, and that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine for you to believe whatever you want to believe. My life experience has taught me that there's something more going on than what meets the eye. There's something else going on behind the scenes, and I have always been interested in looking underneath the dashboard, reading the source code, and reconfiguring things to be more optimal for me. When the universe delivers unto us a significant gift, be it boon or disaster, how much information does this gift offer about what's going to show up next? Only as much information as we choose to find or choose to assign. That might be a better way to say it. So you may not feel that it's possible for you to do that, and that's perfectly fine. I feel it is, and why I continue this ongoing exploration of human experience and reality. And yeah, so if we talk about point of attraction, that is the thing, that is the sort of the state, the consistent emotional state that I am maintaining, and that kind of determines what shows up. Conditions definitely reveal what we've been consistently feeling and thinking. That is definitely what conditions are good for. I got muddled with the idea that there's some knowing beyond my own that I could or that I should suss out. What's next is us. Okay, that's basically what I understand point of attraction to be. And so the way you know what your point of attraction is basically what shows up. Now, a lot of good stuff has been showing up in my life for sure, but I've had a little streak of things that aren't quite, I would say, I would have not wanted these things to show up if I had my choice, because they are annoying. Rather than predict what we, as an incarnation of the entire cosmos, are about to choose, why not focus on a fabulous choosing? Our making of choices, which is to say our creating of choices. Patterns are fun to observe, but I want to remember that the patterns are mine. I make them and I change them. So I'm done divining the future, educated guessing based on observable unfoldings. I'm remembering that there is no future without my consent, explicit or implied. What is manifested is only a clue in the sense of being a clear indicator of what I've already chosen and may now re-choose or de-choose. You don't actually de-choose, you just choose something else. But in a sense, de-choosing is just, well, I'm just not going to choose that anymore. I'm going to choose something else. So there. This is a bit of a dicey part of the highway here. There's a lot of stuff going on. Across the street, I don't know if you can see across the way here, there's a whole bunch of construction going on. It's a little bit chaotic looking, but certainly not more than a couple feet away from my car is this concrete thing, and then there's another lane, another concrete thing, so it feels very confined. Going down there's no real choice here. It's a river of metal, and it has to flow through this channel. There's no getting out of it. So now that we've got all that out of the way, what do recent events reveal about what I've been consistently thinking and feeling? What is my point of attraction? So I recently rode down to Philadelphia, 14 hours in the car, 28 hours round trip for I can't say for no reason. And I don't think I can even say that it was unproductive, because I actually recorded this podcast coming back. This podcast that I'm putting out into the world right now, even though I'm sitting in the Lush, I'm perched in the midst of the Lush, most of this podcast was recorded in the car coming back from Philadelphia. So I'm going to mix this podcast into that podcast, and let's just see how they intermingle. Point of attraction. So what has been showing up in my life? And like I said, reach down here so I can get my note device that I took notes on. God, I got to get this truck out of my way first. Hang on. This guy is just being a pain in the ass here. He's a pain in the ass. Get out of my way, Mr. Slow-moving garbage, whatever you are, kind of refusey truck. Let's both pass him on the wrong side of the road. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. He's just oblivious. Probably hasn't had his coffee this morning. I'm just driving on the road in my truck. I don't care. I'm just going slow in the fast lane. Going slow in the fast lane. That's a good name for an album, I think. There you go. Okay, and now we're back in the fast lane. Let's kick it. Yeah, kick it. So, point of attraction. What am I consistently feeling? What am I consistently thinking about? I know just from observing my thoughts that there are some non-optimal sorts of thoughts going on. Anger,
In 10 miles, keep left onto I-76 West.
past memories that aren't ideal, just angsty things. And wow, what is that? Why is that still? That also supposedly, that's another thing. Thoughts that show up are another indication of what our point of attraction is. So, how does one improve? How does one uplift one's point of attraction? Well, meditation, because through meditation we quiet our thoughts, and then by quieting our thoughts and being empty, the yumminess of our fullness rushes in, can flow in. And here we go. This is it. Here's the analogy. Behind the dashboard, there's all these cool things going on. Let's just call it magic. It's easy, shorthand. And it's stuff that you can't quite explain by cause and effect, blah blah, or whatever you would normally identify as cause and effect. I ate a donut, so I got fat. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of cause and effect. So, by emptying out our thoughts for a little while, not forever, but for 10, 20, 30 minutes, there's an opportunity for all of the magic to show up. This is what we are. It's not like we're separate from it, but we supposedly tend to block it by dwelling on things that don't necessarily feel good to dwell on. And so one way to improve our point of attraction is just to stop thinking. Stop thinking, period. Good or bad thoughts. Just stop. And then by being empty and just receptive, the good shit shows up. All right, that's one way. Another way is to appreciate all the loveliness around us. And that's a little bit circumstance based, which is okay. It's okay, to take note of what's awesome in the moment. That's fine. But it is circumstance based. The idea, as I understand it, is to release ourselves fully from circumstance. From I get something good happen, so I get to feel good. Something beautiful is in front of me, so I get to experience beauty. Someone I love is loving me, so I get to experience love. Yeah, whatever. That's perfectly fine, but if we base our emotional state on what's happening around us, well, that's going to trip us up eventually, because maybe things aren't always going to be copacetic. As a matter of fact, things should not always be copacetic, because they're designed, we've designed our lives to inspire us to new desire and new exciting things. This is all basically chapter and verse right out of Abraham Hicks. But the point is not to just repeat it back like verses from the Bible, but to grok the veracity, to have it inside, and which is really just to be noticing what is, well, how things are, and not circumstance-wise, but in the bigger sense of there's a lot more going on than the puny little circumstances that we're caught in this time-space location. So I don't know if you realize this, but I'm thinking out loud, so you can hear my thoughts. And actually, I would never think these thoughts quite this way. So it's really it's a sharing. We're sharing together. Sharing. Yeah. I'm sharing with you what I'd like to sort of figure out here. So the point of attraction, I want to just do a little quick inventory of my point of attraction. I'm using this phone to do its thing. Okay. I'm not texting, I'm just reading. All right, so what's good? What's good? Well, here's some no, let's go. Let's just do the bad stuff. Bad news first. Okay. Bad news is actually a little bit longer than the good news, and what I mean by that is that clearly my point of attraction could be improved, because here's what's been showing up. Well, the failure of the one wheel, I'm pretty convinced it wasn't my fault. It was a failure of this device, and that was unexpected. And I had acquired that thing for the movie. So two problems with having it fail was, one, I'm going to have to be super careful using it for the movie, and two, I broke my freaking arm, which has turned into
In 2 miles, keep left onto I-76 West.
Which has turned into quite a far-reaching implications to breaking my arm. So the failure of the one with then my brother showing up, which I thought was path of least resistance, but actually it turns out that fierce energy that he brought to me that day probably sent me in the wrong direction. I got an appointment with a doctor who wasn't actually very competent. I may have gotten an appointment that day, but the doctor that I went to didn't really help me and give me the skinny. So that was a problem. And I got this weird chemical burn, which I think, I don't know what that is. Could be poison ivy, though I've never gotten poison ivy in my life, but it's something, probably a plant-based thing. And then my collarbone not healing properly. Okay, so I believed what this first doctor told me, that it was going to be 80% chance that it was going to heal up fine, but he was wrong. Or I attracted a non-healing situation. So
Use the left 2 lanes to keep left onto I-76
my collarbone is still
West.
like this. Far from, the two ends are far from each other. I am, what else?
Keep left.
My mom acting a little nutty. Keep left.
For 53 miles, continue straight.
I guess I should get back on here. Hang on. What is going on here? What is the deal? I guess I'm going this way, right? Alright. Back on the road here. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Keep left. Come on. Fast. Get some acceleration going on here. Wow. Okay. Back on the highway. I think I almost made a mistake there, but I caught myself, so we're good. Okay. But maybe I just went through who knows what happened there. I don't know what happened there. I'm confused. I just missed the tickets. That's what happened. Keep left. That's what happened. The phone told me the wrong thing. I should have gone through those things, probably. Oh well. Now I'm going to get a bill in the mail from Pennsylvania. Fuck. Oh well. Anyway, so, and maybe that was another thing, another bad thing that just happened. Yeah, another point of attraction glitch. So what else? So when I called Master Roo to talk to him about my arm, he didn't fully understand. So I ended up making a trip to Philadelphia for no reason. Well, of course, there's a reason. It's my point of attraction. Yes, that's the reason. And is there some kind of other? Is there some kind of other outcome that's beneficial to going? That was good. That was useful about going to Philadelphia. Well, maybe this podcast. Maybe this podcast that I'm recording right now on my way on the road. Oops. Yep, that's good. Maybe that's the whole point that I drove for how many hours now? 28 hours total when I'm done with this trip. Yeah. So, but I think there's a game you can play. There's a game that I can play where it's like, why did this happen? Why did this happen? What did this showing me? And that's a good, that's helpful if I want to play the game of what do I want to appreciate. That's about That's useful, I think. What could be appreciated about this situation? And that's nice. I like that. I like appreciation. And I think it's good to turn situations into opportunities to appreciate. However, I'm feeling that maybe this is a bit of a game that I can tone down, because I don't necessarily, I mean, it's cool. It's cool to have the radar out there and be like, what could this have possibly been about? Yeah, that's kind of fun. But I also think it's a bit of a swirl that we can get lost in, and is it really that important anyway? To try and suss out what the cosmos is actually doing. We don't know. We don't know what the cosmos is necessarily doing. I at this point in my meager consciousness, I cannot yet see the big plan, the overview, how I'm going to find the path of least resistance, what it looks like from the top-down satellite view, the drone view of the path of least resistance. I'm just on it, trying to feel my way forward. That's my job right now. It's just to feel my way through what is easiest. Other things that indicate my point of attraction could use a little tuning. That's pretty much it, I guess. What else? Is there anything else? Let me think. I'm feeling a little bit of what? Friction, maybe. Just generally. I don't know. I guess that just overall. And my mom. Did I say this? My mom getting crazy? There we go. My mom going a little nutty. Right before I left, she went into one of her worry modes. My 90-year-old mother, who is, mostly pretty rational, but she lost her mind when I went on this trip. Okay, we're back. All right, so those are a bunch of pretty significant symptoms. Yeah, manifestations showing up that I can say, what desires do those point to? Yeah, contrast is great. I like having new desires. And certainly there's some whoppers here. I love health. I love feeling robust and powerful and capable. Now I got a broken arm, so how am I going to feel robust and vigorous and capable with a broken arm? Yada yada. Then I got to get surgery, and it'll be another couple of weeks at least before I'm actually kind of functioning again. So I have this, just like I had to learn to do dishes with one arm, I've got this opportunity to learn, I've got this opportunity to learn how to feel vigorous and strong and robust with only one arm. It's subtle, right? Dishes are one thing, it's a physical thing. You can see the dishes getting done, maybe it takes a little bit longer. But feelings, right? To transform how I feel. We're still recording, right? Yeah. So that's an opportunity, a big one, really. It's like, okay, it's one thing to be theoretical about it. Oh yeah, I could feel like strong and vigorous with only one arm. Well, okay. Now you, not you, me, you. Now I can live that, and I kind of wonder if this particular trauma, arm breaking that I've gone through, is kind of armoring me or preparing me to be able to get through something of much greater intensity. Or maybe the other way I want to say that is that this ensures that my point of attraction will be really shiny, and I won't have to have something like this happen or something worse than this happen. Maybe it's just as simple as saying, you know what, I'm going to clean up my point of attraction because clearly shit's coming down that I'm not excited about. Or we'll put it this way, I would have preferred to have not happened, right? But then again, I'm a better person in theory because of these things, because I can take them and I can make lemonade out of these lemons. I like lemons, so that's whatever. I can make more out of these. I can create brilliance out of what appears to be a disaster. And that's what we're here to do, folks, on the planet Earth. Yeah. I'm pretty clear that that's what it's about. For me. Maybe not for you, but for me, maybe it is for you. It's highly likely that you've got the same thing going on. It's like, whoa, I am realizing, you're saying to yourself, as I am realizing that this whole experience on Earth is about just becoming more and more amazing all the time, no matter what. And this was the Daughter of Godcast, episode 151, Lush in the Lush. That's me in the Lush with my broken arm still. My clavicle is all messed up. It's not really healing properly. So back in whatever episode that was, where I was reveling in the fact that I didn't have to get surgery, well, now I do probably have to get some surgery to fix this. New experience, another fun ride to take. I've never had major surgery before. Have to put me under, make me unconscious. But thank you so much for listening and watching. I don't think I have thanked all these people that you are, because it is pretty amazing to have this interaction, to be able to share with you things that are going on for me as we make, yes, let's get back to the fundamentals here, as we make this movie, Daughter of God. Just let it be beautiful, because it is.